Hi everyone, it's Catherine from Control and Move Fitness CIC bringing you a free beginners Pilates class this International Women's Day 2025. Now you may notice I look a little bit different in this video, and well, that's because as we film this for International Women's Day on the 8th of March, I'm currently 8 months pregnant, and well, rolling like a ball probably isn't that appropriate for my body, but that doesn't mean that you should not get a free Pilates workout. So I've gone through my YouTube channel and picked the best of the best, the golden oldies, and provided you with the best beginners Pilates workout that your body needs. Remember, take it at your own pace, do what you can, make sure you are in a safe space, and let's go.
Alright, so the feet are flat, your knees are hip distance apart, your pelvis is nice and heavy on the floor, and I just want you to take your hands and just slide your hands underneath your lower back. And for some of where there might be loads of space, you know, if you tend to have quite a bendy lower back, for those of us who have kind of slightly straighter posture, there might not be a lot of room, but I just want you to figure out how many fingers you can fit underneath your lower back. Don't move anything away from the back or anything like that. It's just to kind of assess whether you can get your fingertips or your whole hand underneath your back or not. It's not that one is better than the other. And then you should have your rib cage nice and heavy on the floor. Your shoulder blades, those pointy bits at the back, they should be on the floor, but your shoulders will have slightly rounded forward. So this is just checking in with what parts of those body parts are connected to the floor. If you've been, if you've been working or walking all day, then there might be bits that feel a little bit tight. So I'm just going to start with just a little stretch for the shoulders. So what I'm going to get you to do is, if you can, you're going to bring your hands down on towards the tops of your shoulders. So I'm just going to sit up so you can see it. So your hands are going to be here. Yeah, so kind of a weird position for the fingers. And then all you're going to do is open the elbows out. Now, of course, if that is too uncomfortable, then just let your hands relax and just open out to the side. Yeah, so hands down on shoulders if we can, and all we're going to do is open the arms out without moving the back or anything. But like I say, if this position is too uncomfortable for the hands, you can come into your like swan dive position, so you can kind of open and close, you know, like that machine that you see at the gym where you sit and you kind of squeeze, and it's a little bit of a pec exercise. So you can do it like that. Now, I know last week we talked quite a lot about the breathing, and if you get it wrong, then it feels a bit strange. So if we can, when you close the elbows together, you're going to take a nice breath in through the nose, and as you breathe out through the mouth, the elbows will come out to the side. I'm just going to try 3 more, and what I want you to do is just see if you can get that movement a little bit slower. Just see if you can take a nice full inhale and exhale, making sure that the breath is the movement is the length of the breath and not the other way around. Good, lovely. One final time, bring those elbows together and then arms out to the side. Good, lovely. Leaving the elbows there. If you can, you're going to extend those arms out to the side. Palms are going to be facing up. Nice. We're just going to drop those knees from side to side, but we're not going to go very far. Okay, so all we're going to do is just drop the knees from side to side, kind of almost as if your knees pointing up as 12 o'clock. You're going to drop the knees maybe to about 10 o'clock and then across to 2. And what I want you to do is just find a little bit of movement in the feet, so the feet can roll from the inside and the outside of the feet. But what I want us to try and avoid, which I'm doing a little bit of, what I want you to try and avoid is lifting the back up as well. So try and keep your rib cage and your hips kind of down to like where your trouser waistband would sit. You want to try and keep that still. We're just going to drop those knees from side to side. So it is a smaller motion than taking it all the way up and over. But if we can, breathing in through the middle and breathing out, dropping those knees to 10 or 2 o'clock. And then breathing in back through the middle and breathing out, dropping the knees to the other side. And again, it's just a nice way to set up a little bit of simple coordination with the breathing and the movement. So give yourself the time to breathe in through the middle and breathe out to the other side. Nice little moving stretch. If you can, we're going to turn the head to whichever side the knees are going away from. So if your knees are heading to that 10 o'clock, you're going to send your head across to the opposite side. And again, keep the back nice and still. We've just added on a little movement of the head. We're going to breathe in through the middle and out. Good, nice. We're just going to do it one more time each side, and really this is just to give yourself a little bit of landing space, and then we'll talk about the abdominals and everything like that in a second. Good, nice. Coming back through the middle. Okay, we're going to bring those arms up towards the ceiling. This one's a little bit of a weird one. It's kind of like our scapular squeezes that we did kind of last week, but just making sure that the chin is in towards the chest. If you notice that your eyes are looking past the point of straight up to the ceiling and are starting to look over there, it's probably a smart move to get something to lift the top of the head, maybe like a small pillow or something like that, so you can tuck the chin in towards the chest. But if not, you just want to bring that chin down towards the chest, lengthen the back of the neck. So those palms are going to be facing in. We're going to reach those hands up towards the ceiling, and again, it's not really a big movement, but you're trying to lift your shoulder blades away from the floor, and then as you breathe out, you allow them to just melt down and drop. So it's exactly the same motion as that little scapular push-up that we did last week, but it was last week. So breathing in, reaching the arms all the way up, and then down. So basically you're trying to keep those arms straight, and you're trying to lift the arms out of the shoulder joint and then sink them back in. Like I say, there might not be too much motion, and that's all right. We're going to do 2 more. Breathing in, lifting up, and breathing out, dropping it down. Again, see if you can make it the whole length of your exhale as you drop it down. One more time, breathing in and out. Good, lovely. If we can, we're just going to stay with the shoulder blades nice and heavy on the floor, and you're going to turn your palms towards your knees. Chin is in towards the chest, and just take those arms up and over as far as you feel comfortable. Like I say, if your one arm starts to go and one arm stops, just stay nice and balanced. So just taking a nice small breath in. If we can, we're going to go just a little bit further as we breathe out. Notice that the rib cage isn't moving. So if we start to get to a point where the lower back will lift and the rib cage will open, just keep the arms a little bit higher. Then I'm going to breathe out, press those hands down towards that 100 preparation, which is the hands by the outsides of the thighs, fingertips really nice and active along the floor. So we're going to take a breath in, take the arms open over the head. Again, only go as far as you feel comfortable, and then breathe out, bringing it down. And you're just going to do 3 more. 3 seems to be the magic number today. And again, all you're doing is taking the arms up as you breathe in, and then pressing them back down in reverse as you breathe out. Good. Fabulous. Nice, so taking those arms open overhead and just pressing those hands back down towards the outside of the thighs. Now stay here if you would like to. If we can, we're going to just start to curl the head and shoulders away from the floor. So as you breathe in, take those arms open over your head. As we breathe out, pull the abdominals down, and when the hands get towards the ceiling, press the hands down like you're pressing down like a heavy weight, pressing down, lifting the chin towards the chest, drawing the abdominals in and looking towards your knees. And then going to breathe in, roll it all the way back down. And breathe out, press those hands to the ceiling. And we'll press it down. 2 really heavy buttons down by the side of the hips, looking towards the knees. No tension in the neck. And then we're going to breathe in, lower it down. So again, all we've added in there is a little flexion of the spine, so curling the head and shoulders up and away. Things that I want us to be aware of is that you don't have to come really high. It's not about crunching all the way up. It's about how you can create a really long semicircle with the fingertips, and how you just peel your head and shoulders away from the floor at that same time. Pelvis should be nice and heavy, so the rib cage hasn't moved. So things that should be on the floor is your rib cage, nice and heavy at the back, and also your hips as well. And your bum muscles, your glutes should be nice and soft as well. Good, lovely. And just one final one here, breathing in, and then breathing out. Good, lovely. Leaving those hands where you are, but just resting the head down. All right, so I'm going to try off 50, one on one side, one on the other. But instead of taking those arms up and over and setting ourselves up this way, we're just going to leave the hands down. What I want you to do is leave the pelvis exactly where it is. Use the hands if you need to make sure that nothing's moving. But if we can, keep the hands still. We're going to take a nice breath in through the nose, and as you breathe out, pull your belly button down and lift one leg up to a tabletop position. Okay, so breathing in through the nose and then breathing out, pull the belly button down, lift that leg up to your tabletop. So that is shin parallel to the floor. We've set the leg. Now all we're going to do is curl the head and shoulders up away from the floor on your next exhale. So breathe in, lengthen the fingertips, and breathe out. Reach those fingertips towards your feet, and we've curled up. We're going to take 50. So we have small movements of the arms, 3, 4, 5, and out. The fingers are nice and strong in, 2, 3, 4, 5, breathe out. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. Last one, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Rest those hands down, lower your head and shoulders down, and then lower the foot down. Take a nice breath in. We've got the other side. Keep those arms nice and strong. We're going to try a little bit quicker, just a little bit quicker. Now, sometimes what happens when we get a little bit quicker, we kind of move the head and shoulders, but what we want to think about is when we've set, this is the position we stay, and there's just a small motion from the arms. All right, so let's lift that left leg up as you breathe out. Reach those hands forward, just hovering off the floor, and then breathe out. Reach those fingertips down to the outside of that foot. Curl the abdominals up, and we go a little bit quicker. Fingers reaching forward. We breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, and a little bit quicker. 3, 4, nice, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, and in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. Obviously can't count to 50. One more, I think. 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Lovely. Rest the head down, rest the arms down, and then rest the leg down. Nice. All right. Let's look at shoulder bridge, shall we? I love shoulder bridge. So we've done this one before, but just as a quick point of reference, this is the one where we mobilize the spine, roll the hips up. Okay, so what I want you to do is take those hands up towards the ceiling. Palms are going to be facing in. Just a little bit of a stabilizing challenge here. Keep the chin tucked in towards the chest. Take a nice breath in. Make sure those feet are nice and flat. And as you breathe out, pull the abdominals back. Flatten your lower back down onto the floor. And then press your feet into the floor to squeeze the glutes as you breathe out to roll up. And really see if you can roll up piece by piece through the spine. And we're just lifting to a point where those knees are in line with the hips and with the shoulders. Squeeze your hips a little bit higher and send those knees a little bit further forward if we can. And then we breathe out, we roll ourselves all the way back down. So think lower back, keep the abdominals pulled in, and then we release the hips. We're going to breathe out as you roll up. You take a breath in at the top. And then you breathe out as you roll down. Breathing in at the bottom. And out to roll up. Good. Keep going. Breathing in at the top and out to roll down. You're going to keep going. And what I want you to do is, if you feel comfortable with this, see if you can roll up with your heels lifted. Okay, so again, that will mean that your feet are flat. So what you'll think about doing is you'll lift those heels as you tilt the pelvis under. You'll then roll yourself up. Be careful of calf cramp. You don't want to squeeze them too much. It's just about gaining a little bit more height. We'll then roll ourselves down, all the way down, and then relax the heels. Okay, so if you want to, add on that little heel raise to roll up, but it's still slow. Yeah, so we still want to see the wheel going backwards, so the pelvis will lift. The visual cue that we tend to get given as teachers is imagine that you've got a ball rolling up your chest to the top of the shoulder bridge and then it rolls back down again. But what I always kind of think that actually it's quite nice to think of it as a wheel. So as you are lifting those hips up and away from the floor, it's like a wheel going backwards. So it's really kind of, I suppose, yeah, they've got that rolling element and bringing it all the way up. Good, lovely. See if you can pull your abdominals in a little bit more as we roll down, keeping the hips down, or hips lifted, sorry. One last one, but this time we are just going to lift up. Keep those feet flat for this one. Lift those hips up. Good, fabulous. What I'm going to get you to do is bring your elbows down. If that's not comfortable, bring those hands down. Again, whatever we need for a base of support. And you're going to step those feet a little bit further in. Now what I want you to try and do is keep your hips nice and lifted, but just be very aware that they might drop. If you need to, bring yourself down, give yourself a bit of a shake, and then come back up. So we're going to keep those hips nice and high. The reason I give elbows is that sometimes it helps keeping the hips high. Some people like using the hands, but sometimes shoulders can be a bit tight. So we're going to keep those hips nice and high, and we're just going to lift one leg. Doesn't have to be high. And we're going to place it straight back down. Lift one leg, and straight back down. And it's difficult. I know, it's difficult. Keeping those hips nice and square. If you want to, place the hands on the hip bones at the front, making sure that we don't drop from side to side. And breathing in, out to lift, because that's the hardest bit. Breathing in to lower. One more time each side, out to lift, in to lower, out to lift, in to lower those feet back to the floor. Reach those arms up towards the ceiling and over if you can, and then roll yourself all the way down. And just stretch your legs out, give yourself a bit of a shake, a bit of a full body stretch. Nice. So those knee drops that we did at the beginning, we're going to do them here as well. We're going to take them a little bit bigger. So if you'd like to, some people like to take the feet a little bit wider. It gives them the ability to roll. However, depends on your feet. I know that obviously since kind of hurting my toe, I don't really like taking them wider, so it might just be that you just keep them narrow, but just be careful that you don't overextend the back. So abdominals are still pulling in. So you can take those arms pretty much wherever you want to take them, really, and keeping the chin in towards the chest. Let's drop the knees towards that 10 o'clock. And this time you're going to continue to drop the knees to the side, and the back will peel away from the floor. Now again, you can do this on the toes if you don't want to roll to the arch. And what I'm going to get you to do is really see if you can twist the spine in the opposite direction. So the head is going towards the other side. And then using those obliques to bring yourself all the way back up. Think about your rib cage gluing itself back to the floor again on that side. And then breathe in through the middle, breathe out to the other side. So some of us might find a bit of a stretch across the hip into the psoas. You might find a stretch across the back. You might find a stretch across the outside of the hip, out of the chest. Some of us might find it really comfortable. Breathing in through the middle. And one more time each side. Breathing in through the middle and out. Breathing in through the middle and out. Good, lovely. Coming back through the middle. This time we're just going to lengthen the left leg a little bit longer. If anything, we're going to lengthen it to straight, and we're going to bring that right leg up towards that tabletop. Now you can relax the foot, or you can have a nice strict position. This one's a little bit more intense in terms of the twisting. Your shoulder doesn't have to stay down. So a lot of people talk about how, oh, well, my shoulder has to stay down. It doesn't. Yeah, so you can do whatever you want with the shoulder. We are going to roll. I'm just going to show you on this side. You are going to roll onto the outside of the thigh. So don't think that you have to stay facing up towards the ceiling as well. Okay, so take a nice breath in to lift that leg up if you haven't already. And then keeping that shape, you're going to roll yourself up and over and taking a little stretch here. Again, we should feel a nice twist of the spine. Your foot and your knee do not need to land on the floor. I'd probably recommend the foot over the knee, because obviously as soon as that knee's down, the hand can come off as well, but aim for it as well. Once the foot is down, just want you to lengthen the other hand away and just see if you can come back towards the ceiling at that point, but only see, you don't have to force it. And we're going to take a nice breath in here. Use those abdominals to support your back, so pull your belly button in and bring yourself all the way back up. Nice, we've already switched those abdominals on, so keeping that leg there, we then change. So kind of like a single leg stretch change, really. We then take a nice breath in, roll ourselves to the opposite side, use those abdominals, keep your back safe, And again, seeing the difference on either side. Definitely tap the foot down, doesn't matter too much about whether the knee goes down, and then lengthen the other hand away. See if you can get that upper back down on the floor. Take a nice lovely breath in, find the bits that might be a little bit tight or a little bit stuck, and you'll breathe out here. Good, lovely, breathing in to come back. Fabulous, and then breathing out, bringing it down. Nice. Okay, hug your knees in towards your chest, and we're going to take a few little rock and rolls to bring ourselves up. It's also a nice little massage as well. So bringing yourself up. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, so we've done spine twist. We've kind of done a variation of sore standing last week, but we're going to look at it this week. So again, as always, if this position is uncomfortable, get a pillow, sit on it, it will help. Okay, sometimes you can feel the tension in the front of the hips, and that pillow will just alleviate it. So you're going to take your feet mat distance apart rather than together. So this one's not really normally done with the feet apart, but we're going to do it anyway. So spine twist, we're going to take our arms, if we can, like a cactus. If it's uncomfortable, you can take the arms out and slightly lower down. Yeah, so you can keep your hands lower. We just have to be aware that when the arms come out straight, that we don't twist. Yeah, so everything's twisting from the middle. So we're going to sit up nice and tall wherever we are. Breathing in through the middle. We're going to take 3 twists to the same side. So we'll twist 1, 2, 3. They're not bounces, but you're just trying to get a little bit further every single time. You want to make sure that the legs stay nice and straight, and then we come back through the middle to the other side. Yeah, so lifting up nice and tall as you breathe in. Abdominals will help you, so really use them. Let's breathe out. Twist, twist, twist. Breathing in to the other side. Twist, twist, twist. Good, lovely. You're going to keep going. As you twist, you've got 3 little out breaths. And yeah. So they're shorter, but they're slightly more dynamic to pull those abdominals in just a little bit more. One more time each side. Twist. And in. And twist, twist, twist. Lovely. Good, nice. Bring those arms down. Give your legs a shake if you need to. We're going to stay in this position, and now we're going to look at enhancing that twist. So before we do, what I'm going to get us to do is just take some small side bends from side to side. So placing a hand down, and this will be really good in terms of positioning for a side bend as well. So what I'm going to get you to do is place your hand down, doesn't matter which side it is, and you're going to place it in line with where your sit bones are. So basically where you're sitting, take that hand out. Just as far so that you can just reach with your fingertips only. So you don't want to have it flat, which I pretty much struggle with anyway. You're going to reach the hand out, and then you're going to take the opposite hand, if you can, out to the side, just as you were in spine twist. And then you're going to just slide that hand away until your hand is flat. And with a slight bend, you're going to just take yourself up and over. Now again, the shoulder might not be comfortable, so just keep it out to the diagonal, or if you can, we're going to reach our arm up towards the ceiling. You can also bring it up to the front as well, but just make sure that you don't rotate. So this position might be a little bit more comfortable for you, but just be aware that the spine doesn't move. Okay, so you've got 3 different options, up and over or forward. We're then going to bring ourselves all the way back up, and then we're going to go to the other side. So keeping the hips down, bending it up and over to the side. Breathing out to bring yourself up. Breathing in to go up and over. Breathing out, bring yourself up. Breathing in to go up and over. And you're just going to keep going. And again, what I want you to do is try and differentiate between the hips and the legs moving. And it doesn't matter, really, if you just get here. Yeah, if this is how far your spinal flexion is, it doesn't matter. What we want to avoid is lifting the hips up and thinking, I'm really, really far here, because what we're doing is just relying on shoulder mobility and bending the arm. Yeah, so reaching it up and over. Only go as far as you can. Like I say, sort out that hand first. Good, lovely. And just one more time on each side if you need to balance yourself out, or just anything to make yourself even. So I'm really trying to find a little bit more space between the hips and the ribs. I realise mechanically not possible, but I can find a little bit more room. Okay, so now I've done both of those, we're going to combine them. Yeah, so we're going to combine them kind of ish. Yeah, so what I'm going to get you to do is I'm going to get you to twist towards that leg. Yeah, so I mean, I say it's combining it, it's probably not, but setting it up for it anyway. So what I'm going to get you to do is just leave those hands down on the thighs. So you're going to twist until both hands are down on that, let's say, right leg. Yeah, so both hands are on one leg. So we've twisted. We then pull the abdominals back. We reach our hand forward towards either the outside of the shin or the outside of the foot. Again, your hips aren't lifting off the floor. So we're sliding forward, and then at that point, whenever we feel like that's enough for the back, you're going to twist and look over that shoulder. So your abdominals are pulling back, so not sinking down. Abdominals are pulling back and you're looking over the shoulder. And just like the spine twist, you've got 3 little saws of the ankle, which is why it's called saw. So you have 3, 2, 1. Now it doesn't have to be the ankle. Yeah, it can be the knee, it can even be the thigh. You can go anywhere. 1, 2, 3. So it's a saw in action, hence the name. So 1, 2, 3. We then sit up nice and tall, bring yourself back to the front. You then change to the other side. We slide down, we breathe out, 3, 2, 1. Breathing in through the middle, to the other side, breathing out, roll down. Breathing in through the middle, and breathe out, 3, 2, 1. So you'll notice the breath has got to be longer, because the motion is longer. So if we can, we're going to take those hands and we're going to reach them out. Yeah, we're going to reach them out. We're going to twist to the side. So if you've got your right leg, you're going to place your left hand down on the thigh. If you need to, lower that shoulder if it's a bit uncomfortable. You're going to do the same thing. Slide. 3, 2, 1. Breathing in through the middle to the other side. Keep breathing in and then breathing out. 3, 2, 1. Breathing in through the middle and breathing out. 3, 2, 1. Breathing in through the middle and breathing out. 3, 2, 1. Last time as we twist, you might notice that naturally your back hand, your thumb is turning down just to help your shoulder. 3, 2, 1. Breathing in through the middle and breathing out. 3, 2, 1. Good, nice. Bring yourself up. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Nice. Just a little one. I always like to do that before doing side lying stuff. So we're going to bring yourself forward. So bring yourself forward. Now we've done rolling like a ball, haven't we? Where you roll back and back up. Have we done seal yet? I was going to say I can't hear you, so you can just give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It's basically you hold your feet and clap your feet like Dorothy. We haven't done that one yet. No. Okay, right. So what I'm going to get you to do is set your feet up just like we would for rolling like a ball. So let's start with the legs straight. That'll be easier for you to do. You've got your space between your knees and your hips, which is your thighs. Place your hands flat, halfway between. And then using those abs that were warmed up, you're going to shuffle yourself forward. So your hips are in front of your hands. Go. So you can also wiggle. Yeah, you can also wiggle forward. Nice. So just until your hips are in front of your hands. Now you're going to glue those feet together, but take your knees out to the side. So they're kind of creating like a V. Yeah, so not too far that you've rolled onto the outsides of the feet, but just enough so that the knees are out to that 10 and 2 that we were talking about before. So the feet are flat, your knees are out to the side. Like I say, it doesn't have to be very far. We're then going to use those abdominals, keep yourself there, and we're going to take those hands and rest them behind the backs of the thighs. Nice. So this is a position that we can be. If we can, however, we're going to reach ourselves forward to the front of our feet. Now you'll notice you are more rounded which is why I'm giving this as an option as well. So if you're here, what I'm going to get you to do is round yourself back, walk your feet and take a little hover. And all you're going to do is we're going to do small taps of the feet to start with. So we'll try that together. So take those hands around the backs of the thighs and you're going to lengthen it out so that your arms are nice, kind of straight-ish, not fully straight, with a slight bend in them. We still want the arms to work. You're going to step the foot in so that you're on the balls of your feet. And you're going to just see if you can hover those feet just an inch or so. And what we want to avoid is obviously that pushing off and that rolling back. So you've got the weight of the thighs in your hands and we're going to take 8 little taps of the feet. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. And then we place those feet back down. That's all we're going to do. We're going to do 3 more of them. So bring yourself back. Breathe out as you lift those feet. And we're going to start tapping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bring those feet down. Bring yourself back. We're going to do it 2 more times. Breathing in. Out to lift those feet. Breathing in, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bring it down. Last one. If we can, we want to see if we can do this one with the hands on the fronts of the shins or the feet like I was talking about. So you're going to walk those feet in. Breathing in. Breathing out. Lift those feet. And then what you'll do is you'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah? Give it a try. Give it a try. Hover the feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good, lovely. And just lengthening one leg out and lengthen the other leg out. And just give your legs a bit of a shake. Make sure that, again, the reason we've paired these with extension is because you'll notice that the hips have switched on quite a bit. Okay, so we're going to see if we can roll back. So what I want you to do is do exactly that. Got those hands down on the front of the feet. We're going to walk the hips back, walk the feet back. And you'll notice we've got that C curve that we talked about when we roll like a ball. Okay. The difficult thing with this is that when we get to 3 claps over that way, you do have to roll a little bit further, which is why this week I'm just going to do 1. So what I mean by the claps of the feet is that we're going to find that hover. You're going to do 3 claps of the feet here. You're going to breathe in, tap, and then bring it back up. If I can make it. Yeah, so what we're going to do, it's really hard to do that whilst talking and watching. So we have 3 claps here as we breathe out. We breathe in, and we breathe out, bring it back up. Now, the thing that's difficult about this is that obviously you're spending more time over there. So it means that you've got to get the breath right. So I'll go through that again. You have 3 taps of the feet as you breathe out. You breathe in, breathe out, and back up. Yeah? Give it a go. This is the only one we're going to do seated. This is the final one we're going to do seated. So your hands are either underneath the backs of your knees or on the fronts of the feet. Walk those feet back until you can find a balance. Small motions as we breathe out for 3. We roll back as we inhale, clap once and come back up. Let's try it. We breathe, breathing in, clap, breathing out. Good. Rest those feet if you need to. We then breathe out. We tap 2, 3. Roll back. Good. Tap those feet. We're going to keep going. 3, 2, 1, and roll back. Good. Nice. Last one. Good. Keep that away from the floor. Lovely. Great. Nice. Fabulous. So what I'm going to get you to do is those knee drops that we did lying down, I'm going to do them here. We're not going to rock from side to side though. Just going to get you to come to one side, just what your knee drop would be if you were here. Yeah, so it's exactly the same. Feel free to do it down on the floor if you feel like you're not getting a stretch that you need. We're going to drop a knee from side to side. And all we're going to do is just try and open up this back hip a bit more by squeezing the glutes to one side. So like I say, feel free as we're doing to keep those hands down. Or if you want to, you can roll yourself all the way over, looking towards, kind of almost like round the corner, and then bring it back. Just whatever you need, rolling round, just to give those hips a little bit of TLC as we roll around. Think about those abdominals and glutes as we roll as well. They're our strong stabilizing muscles. They're the ones that keep us safe from any kind of lower back issues. So we want to work them. Just one more time each side. Good. Nice, lovely. And then what I'm going to get you to do is lie down on your side. Okay, so lie down on your side. I rolled up my my little woolly blanket, but you can grab a pillow if you want as well. And what I'm going to get you to do is line yourself up with the back of your mat. Okay, so it's just an easy thing for it to use as a guidance. And let's be honest, mats are always straight, so it's always a good one to line up with. If we can, we're going to place your pillow, if you'd like to, directly underneath your shoulder. Now, of course, I know that some people don't have a problem with this, but sometimes just having that slight lift to keep everything in line does help a bit. Okay, so if we can, I'm going to unfold it. We're going to be here, yeah? So the things that I want you to line up with the back of the mat is your arm and your hips and your feet. Best way to do that is line your feet up first, figure out where the back of the mat is, and then lie yourself down, rather than think, how can I see which way the mat is? Yeah, so just for the other side. Now, if this is uncomfortable for the shoulder, what you can do is raise yourself up onto your elbow. Things that are difficult about the elbow is that we then start to drop into the shoulders, so we do need to be slightly engaged with it here as well. If we can, we're going to lie ourselves down. We're going to take the hand that is free, and you're going to scoop through towards your rib cage. So find your rib cage, yeah? And what I'm going to get you to do is try and lift your rib cage away from the floor. So all I'm doing is just moving it with my fingers. Now, that is going to be an abdominal connection thing, but right now, what we want to try and get to is, instead of being flat here and short, we want to think about lifting that underneath side. So if anything, when we lengthen that top leg, it feels like the hips are dropping that way. Yeah, so rather than being here, which hopefully you can see, where the leg shortens up to the hip, you're just going to lengthen your leg away. Lift the hip up. And what I want you to try and find is a little space between you and the mat. Now again, it can be uncomfortable for the thigh bone on the side. If it is, grab yourself like a soft throw or something like that. Maybe that'll be all right for the underneath side of the hip. But again, just kind of rest, do whatever we need to do if you can. Supporting hand, super important, especially when we come to lying on our side, because we do kind of wobble all over the place, and that's fine. Side hand, that hand is going to come somewhere near either, I suppose, top of rib cage, but it's not going to come up towards the face, so you shouldn't be able to see it if you were to look straight forward. If you look down, of course you can, but what we want to try and find is a light touch of the hands rather than pressing onto it. That'll come easier with time. Okay, so the area that we're looking at working is the side of the hip. Okay, so we don't need to do much to work this side of the hip. The muscle is quite small, but what we do need to do is pull the abdominals in from the front and from the underneath. Shoulders are relaxed. What I want you to do is breathe in, lengthen that leg along the floor, nice and straight. And as we breathe out, we're just going to lift that leg up to what you consider hip height. Doesn't feel like much, but what you can do, if you are nice and stable on that body, you can place your hand on the outside of your hip, and you should feel a slight motion in the hip joint. Nothing too big, because again, we don't want the spine to move. We're just going to lower as we breathe in and lift as we breathe up. So this area is working, this area is working, but this should be staying still. So the space between the hips and the ribs shouldn't be getting shorter. Yeah, we should be working this to stabilize, and this is strengthening, but this bit in between is staying still. Good, you breathe in to lower, and you'll probably feel, as we go through this set of exercises, a little hot burning sensation in your hip. That's fine. If you can endure it, we're going to keep moving. If you feel like it's not a pain that you want to have for much longer, you can bring yourself out of it. Yeah, don't need to suffer. Good, lovely. Breathing in and out to lift. Breathing in to lower. Don't know about you, I am already feeling it. Breathing out. Breathing in and out. 2 more, breathing in and out. Last one, breathing in and out. We're going to point that foot and bring it slightly further forward. Now notice that the leg hasn't dropped. Bring it further forward, flex the foot and sweep it back, almost like you're trying to close a door behind you. Now the motion is small, it's kind of like you're 10 and 2 in your knee drops. So we're going to point the foot, bring it forward, nothing's moving, flex the foot, bring it back. This is single leg kick or side kick lion. Breathing in, sweep it forward. We should still be feeling that glute because we should keep that leg nice and lifted. Breathing out, squeeze it back. Breathing in, point it forward. And out, bring it back. Good, one more, sweeping it forward. Keep that leg high if you can for us. Nice, keep that leg straight if you can, especially as it goes to the back, that leg is not bending. Good, nice, and then bring it back to center. Point the foot, don't lower the leg. We're going to do 5 small circles back. We're going to breathe in and breathe out. See if you can take that supporting hand and just rest it down onto the thigh, or see if you can take that light pressure off for 4. Good, last one, 5, reverse. Keep the legs straight, abdominals on. 1, keep breathing out. 2, keep breathing out. 3, and in 4, last one, 5. Good, lovely, and lower that leg down. Give that leg a bend in, give it a little bit of a pat, a little bit of a rub. Don't know about you, my leg feels like it's falling off. So we're going to do a little quick stretch here. Whichever leg you've just had, we're going to lie ourselves onto our back, press that knee out to the side. And if we can, keeping that foot nice and supported, just draw that foot away. There's lots of different variations to this stretch, so we're going to do 2. So the foot just rests on the front of the thigh. This is a lovely one for piriformis, but I don't think it really gets into the area that is that we've just attacked. So what I want you to do is just place that foot down, and you're going to just keep the pressure on that foot and just twist. Now the portion that you should feel the stretch is right here. Okay, so keep that pressure down on the outside of the ankle, keep that knee wide, and keep that chest up. Support the underneath leg if you need to with your hand. And again, we should feel that stretch across the, that's the TFL really. It's that nice, strong but small muscle that connects hip and IT band. And then bring it back up. All right, before we go on to the other side, I just want you to bring yourself over onto your front. Over onto your front. This is where your vision goes blurry if you're looking at your mat. Okay, so quick review of this position. Your legs are hip distance apart, your feet are relaxed. Feet are relaxed, and just make sure that your lower back is nice and relaxed as well. So just like we did in side lion, the abdominals are pulling up. Okay, so what I want us to not think about too much is that we've just relaxed everything onto the floor, your abdominals have disengaged. You're trying to pull your belly button and abdominals up and away from the floor as much as possible. Can't really see because I'm wearing a baggy jumper. Elbows are nice and heavy, hands are nice and heavy. And if we can this week, what we're going to try and do is think about hovering the elbows and the hands with the upper body. Okay, so just make sure that they are out to the side like our cactus. Yeah, like our cactus shape. So your elbows are directly shoulder height. And if you were to look towards the left and to the right, you would see your hands are in line. Okay, chin is in towards chest. I'm going to stop talking because otherwise I'll get the wrong alignment. And the forehead is down on the floor. We're going to take a breath in, pull the abdominals up, keep the legs relaxed. Breathe out for this first one, keep the elbows and the hands down. Squeeze to lift the upper back. Again, remember, it's not about looking forward. Imagine you've got like a piece of sellotape or something like that on the back of your neck. Don't know why it would be there, but you want to imagine that that's staying long rather than crinkling. So lifting the head and shoulders away press the rib cage into the floor, and then you'll breathe out to lower. So breathe in to lift, and breathe out to lower. Good. And you're going to keep going. And what I want you to become aware of, nice, keep the chin in, man, so look down towards the floor, yeah, nice. So it feels a bit strange, but it just forces us to lift up from the shoulder blades. Good, and then you'll bring it back down. So just going to go with your own rhythm of breath. So all you're going to think about doing is lifting up away from the floor as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, come back down. What I want you to be very aware of is the pressure that you are placing down on the hands and the elbows. So sometimes we think, if I press really hard, I'm going to lift. But actually what pressing down does is it rounds the back and it makes it harder. Yeah, so really see if you can think about your sternum, your breastbone right in the middle of your chest at the front. That is trying to lift forward. Yeah, so rather than lifting the chin and the nose, you're trying to lift the middle of your center. I always think like Tony Stark, Iron Man. You know how he's got that little light in his chest. You want to try and lift that forward. Yeah, so it causes a lot of extension in the upper back. So now you're going to continue, and I just want you to see if you can lift the elbows or the elbows and the hands away from the floor before you lift. So the arms are just hovering, maybe it's like a millimeter or so away from the floor, and you're going to lift the upper body as you breathe in and as you breathe out. And again, you can do that at the top if you just want to test it, if you don't feel like you're strong enough right now to hold that position going up. But I want you to keep that breathing exactly the same. So the movement is like an inflating of a balloon and a deflating of a balloon. So it's really short and long to lift. Or I was going to say short and long to lift. Slow and long, that's the word I'm looking for. Slow and long to lift. And then again, slow and long to lower. We're going to do one more here. So lifting it up, there's a lot of reps here, that's fine. We're going to breathe in to lift. And we're just going to see if we can hold it. So again, holding doesn't mean holding your breath. See if you can breathe in and just lengthen a little bit more. Don't come down yet. Don't come down yet. And then lower down. Lovely. Great. Okay, so if we can, we're going to sit ourselves back. So we're down on the floor here. We're going to sit ourselves back and just round your back. So your hips do not need to touch down. You can still stretch the hands forward. If you feel like your knees are happy to do so, you can sit the hips down. But again, you can keep it rounded. Pull the abdominals in, chin in towards chest. Good, lovely. We're going to come down onto our elbows. So this is an interesting one because lots of things can happen with single leg kick. It also doesn't really help that you've got loads of variations. So what I'm going to get you to do is we're going to start looking at it. So what I want you to imagine, even though going on holiday is not something that we can do right now, you're going to place yourself down on the floor as if you're sitting on the beach. Yeah, so everything's completely relaxed. You're not lying down though, you're not asleep. You're just watching the world go by, sitting on the beach. Although this feels very nice, what I want you to think about doing is notice how heavy the hips are. Yeah, so your hips might be lifted, hip bones might be quite tight. I want you to see if you can put those hips and your belly button, your abdominals completely resting down on the floor. Your elbows, let's start by setting those. So your elbows are going to be directly underneath your shoulders if you can. If we can, they're going to be slightly further forward. Whatever feels right for you. Your palms are going to face down. They are going to be a strong base of support for you. Now, if the elbows are a little bit further forward, it's going to be harder to get a lift. Okay, so what I want you to think about doing is just allowing the chest to drop down, all the way down, which is why we do our little scapular push-ups. We drop our hips down, our shoulders down, sorry. And then what I want you to do is press the elbows into the floor, and you'll notice your chest lifts. So we've gone from chest nice and low to breathing out, chest to lift. So it's just the same as our push-ups that we did a few weeks back, but down on the elbows and everything else is rested. We're going to try one more, breathing in, chest down, relaxing everything, and then breathe out. You'll notice when you press the elbows into the floor, your belly button and your abdominals lift. Okay, so if we can, we're going to stay here. It's a lot of tension in the shoulders, but bear with. You're going to pull your abdominals up and away from the floor, so instead of just sitting down, you're going to pull those abdominals away. You're going to squeeze your glutes and try and tip your pelvis under. It's almost like you're trying to lift your whole pelvis away from the floor. Keep your abdominals pulled in, and then what I want you to do is send that Tony Stark chest forward. So the difficult thing with this is that as soon as you send the chest forward, if you let the glutes go, you're lying back down again. So what I want you to do is press your elbows down, your hands down, pull your abdominals in, squeeze your glutes, and then lift your chest forward. It's quite a difficult one to set because, like I say, if we don't have that range of flexibility in the upper back, we're just going to come back down again. Okay, good. And then just relaxing back down, completely relaxing all the way down. We're going to do that one more time. We're going to add in that one leg kick. Okay, so again, if you want to just watch whilst you have a little bit of a rest, your hands are flat, your chest is down, you press your elbows into the floor, pull those abdominals in, squeeze your glutes, and then look forward. And all we do here is we take one leg and we bring it as close to the heel as we can without lifting the hips. So we keep the hips down. We take 3 kicks again, like we do in saw. Breathing in. We change legs. Breathing in. Now you'll notice things I want you to avoid is rocking forwards and back. Yeah. So it's quite a difficult position to set because it feels uncomfortable. But what I want you to really think about the most is instead of being here, looking down to the floor, you've got your Tony Stark chest. Oh, the words. And you're going to lift forward. So that's the most important thing, really. Trying to look forward without dropping down into the shoulders. Okay, so press those elbows down into the floor. Breathing in. Squeeze those glutes and breathe out. Look forward as best as we can as we breathe out. Take that left leg. We're going to kick as we breathe in. Breathing out to lower. Kick. Breathing out to lower. One more time each side. Kick. Out to lower. And breathe in. And out to lower. Good, lovely. Rest yourself down. We're going to bring ourselves onto our other side. So single leg kick or one leg kick is something that will take a while to get because it is that kind of weird position. So bring yourself down onto your left side. Yes, got time. Of course we'll have time, otherwise you'll walk out looking like a zombie. So on your left side. Again, set yourself up please with your feet. Your heels are at the back of the mat, both feet nice and in line. Your hips are at the back of the mat and then your shoulder is. Okay. So again, top leg will just slide down. And what you should feel is that your heel is in line with your calf. Okay. You can always just flex your foot and see where it is though if you want to. Okay. So again, underneath side of the waist, make sure that there is that space. But again, that space is caused by lifting the abdominals rather than holding. Yeah, so see if we can lengthen that leg a little bit further away, and that should hopefully help with that. Support your hand, remember it goes down somewhere near the rib cage rather than the belly button. That's not going to help you at all, and it's certainly not going to help you up here. Shoulders away from ears. Light touch, and let's breathe in, lengthen that leg down, and then as we breathe out, small hover. And again, if you want to feel that work in the hip, and then bring it back down as you breathe in. So breathing out to lift, breathing in to lower. Out to lift, in to lower. Now this should feel quite strong. Should feel quite strong in the middle. This is just setting us up. It's always that kind of preset position to make sure that the hips are working, the abdominals are working, the glutes are working, to make sure that we can be nice and stable in this position. Good, lovely. And again, just checking in with the weight on the hand. How does it feel? Could you take your hand away? Are you taking this leg higher than the other one? Is there a reason? always good. It's this constant checking in. Good, lovely. Lengthen it away. Again, it's very small. We're just using the glutes on this one side. Notice if this feels more challenging than the other side or less. For me, this is my right leg, so it feels less challenging, but it still feels like it's working. Make sure that the hips and the ribs are staying apart. We're not dropping and rocking. Everything hips up should be still. Good, nice. Let's just do one more and then hold it. Point that foot, sweep it forward. Make sure that knee doesn't drop in. Make sure it stays on that same plane, that kind of horizontal plane. Sweeping it back. And again, make sure the hips haven't rolled. Use the hand, ground the knee at the front, and try and open up the hip by squeezing the glutes at the back. Breathing in, point the foot, sweep it forward. Flex the foot to sweep it back. Good. Just bring that hand down a little bit so that the shoulders aren't creeping up towards the ears. So just bring those hands down. Nice, much better. Resting the fingertips down, sweeping it forward. Notice if you can take the hand away, reaching it back. Keeping that switched on, sweeping it forward. Sweeping it back one more time. Keep that leg hip height, sweep it forward. Sweep it back. Come back to the center and hold. 5 circles in one direction. Here we go. We breathe in 1 circle. We breathe out 1 circle. Don't forget about the back. Breathing in 3. Out 4. In 5. Hold it there, nice and slow. Last push. Breathing in, reverse. And out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Don't forget about the back space. Last one, breathing in. And lower it down. Bring yourself onto your back for that final stretch. Crossing that ankle over, drawing the knee in, making sure that knee is out to the side as well. Keep that support by flexing the foot if you can. I know that there's some stretches where you can thread through, but actually supporting that is enough. You can take one hand through if you want. Good, lovely. And then let's do that TFL stretch. So foot is flat, dropping it down, finding that space, almost like you're trying to lengthen the space between the thigh bone and the hip. So keeping that knee out. So really externally rotating that leg. Finding that space, supporting that underneath leg with the hand if you'd like to. And bringing it back. Good, lovely. Crossing those ankles. We're going to bring ourselves up to a seated position. Sweep those legs around. Set your hands flat. 3 push-ups to finish. We're going to come up to standing. Now, push-ups, they do not need to be high. So we're going to stay down on the floor. And what I mean by high is they don't need to be big. Yeah, so what I want you to do is find your box position. So your hands are flat, your abdominals have worked really hard, your knees are underneath your hips. And again, you've drawn that imaginary line to keep your neck in line. If you'd like to, set the knees a little bit further back, but the upper body doesn't move. Okay, so looking down towards the fingertips, you can either take a small bend, or you can take a bigger bend, it's up to you. We're going to breathe in to go down and breathe out to press up. 3, here we go. We're going to breathe in and breathe out. Go as low as you need to. Breathing out to push up. Nice. And breathing in to come down. Out to press up. Good. For this last one, pull your abdominals all the way back as you breathe out. Breathing in and breathe out. Nice, lovely. Tuck those toes under, or if you're like me, you've got no range of motion in the toes whatsoever, leave them flat, walk your hands back, and do one at a time. Bring yourself all the way up so that you are on your feet, but don't stand up just yet, just on your feet. It's the first time we've been standing in this class, so make sure that those feet are hip distance apart. Your legs can be bent or they can be straight, But just make sure that the head is tucked in, lengthening the back of that neck again. Bent legs or straight legs. Let's roll ourselves all the way up. And again, just like that shoulder bridge, we're rolling the wheel back. So your hips will stack first, then your ribs, then your shoulders, and then your head at the top. Roll those shoulders back. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome job, guys. Really, really well done. Thank you so much for joining me for that beginner's Pilates workout. Hopefully we feel like we've connected that breath and that movement just a little bit more, and we feel like we've expanded our upper back in particular as well. So join me again. There is plenty of these beginner workouts over on my YouTube page, so do check them out. It's Control and Move Pilates and Fitness, and I will see you all again very, very soon.